Stephen A. Smith, $100 million deal in jeopardy due to Charles Barkley and the NBA Inside Crew. Make sure you guys get in here, subscribe to the YouTube channel, thumbs up, like the video. Let's go. You guys see the headline is Stephen A. Smith $100 million ESPN deal in jeopardy due to Charles Barkley and the Inside the NBA. I had no idea that ESPN had this up their sleeve. A few months ago, Stephen A. Smith was pleading to the league to save Inside the NBA while negotiating a huge promotion for himself. Now, both those separate discussions are tied together. NBA viewing is going to have a seismic shift in 2025, and not only for the soon-to-be former TNT personalities. ESPN has the task of navigating the entire agreement with the Inside NBA cast and crew around its existing structure. Until this major announcement, ESPN's NBA coverage has centered around Stephen A. Smith and his ability to headline an entire show. It gave him leverage to negotiate the demand for a $100 million contract, but the balance is bound to tip with the arrival of some TNT heavyweights. Wow, Stephen A. Smith, damn, that certainly backfired on you, buddy. And if this is true, this has to be a punch to the gut, being that Stephen A. Smith is a snake and he only cares about himself. I lost a lot of respect for Stephen A. Smith simply because if you watch his politics, the guy is clearly a snake. He's a middleman, and you can never trust a middleman. I also don't like the way that you did Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith. I think that was pretty shiesty, and not to mention that your whole basketball career is fabricated. You said you averaged 1.5 points, and you have a 6-inch screw in your knees, and Jason Whitlock already exposed that. Nonetheless, let's talk about these TNT heavyweights and what would this mean to Stephen A. Smith, in my opinion. Let me tell you something. Stephen A. Smith, you are the most loudmouth, talented person that is in sports. You got some talented. And Stephen A. Smith is very good at drawing attention in the most obnoxious way, using big words that he can't spell or that he doesn't know what they mean, and just literally looking at the microphone and just literally looking at the camera and yelling and over talking people. Sometimes it's a bit cringe. Sometimes I think that it's overly staged. And if I'm being honest, kind of like with Skip Bayless, is getting a little stale. Now, Stephen A. Smith, based off the fact that he, obviously he coins himself as the best over there at ESPN. He has done a lot of lifting of the network. He is very overworked, but he's very well compensated. I sure do his job for the money he makes. But I think that Stephen A. Smith got a little cocky. I think that he got a little arrogant. And I think that ESPN has the right to weigh out their options. I think personally the NBA Inside Crew should be handled by the NBA Inside Crew. It's very hard to watch Stephen A. Smith all day. I mean, seriously, if you guys really want your ratings to spike, you got to have different personalities. You got to have different faces. Nobody wants to see the same old people talking. I don't want to see Greeny. I damn sure don't want to see Marcus Spears and Kendrick Perkins hog mouth country talking. I don't want to see that. Okay, I just don't. I think that this will be very impactful for the network if they were to pull this off. Forget Stephen A. Smith's $100 million contract. He has built the platform up, and ESPN did a great job countering Stephen A. Smith with this move if this is true. It says by most observations, ESPN will come out a winner in this situation. But depending on what Stephen A. Smith chooses, whether it's to work with Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley or fight for his worth, he might be on the losing end of this development. Why would you guys even give Stephen A. Smith a fucking option? Dude, Stephen A. Smith has no cachet like a Charles Barkley and a Shaquille O'Neal. Why would y'all give him any type of option? I believe that ESPN is doing this on purpose. I believe that ESPN is going to test Stephen A. Smith's ego, and if they see him buckle, then the negotiation terms are going to turn in their favor, meaning that he may not even get a $100 million contract, which is why this article is so important. They're going to say, okay, you need us more than we need you. I mean, I get you doing your YouTube thing, but it ain't nothing like being on air, baby. It ain't nothing like being on ESPN, baby. And we know that Stephen A. Smith tries to stay ahead of this. We know that Stephen A. Smith, as soon as his podcast comes on, he tries to purposely say, if you watch his show, I watch his show, But Stephen A. Smith will purposely say, thank you guys, we got over 1 million streams and 13 million downloads. He would literally still say that. And he does that on purpose, guys. Stephen A. Smith, man, I gotta give it to him. He's pretty smart. If I'm being honest, I feel like if Stephen A. Smith is to come on the show, I don't want to hear Stephen A. Smith. I like it original. I like the way things are, man. They should keep the main NBA inside crew. Stephen A. Smith's going to get in there. His ego is going to get the best of him, and it's going to be a tug of war with the show. And Charles Barkley's going to, hey, Charles Barkley and Shaq will tell you how they feel on air. And I'm a little worried about that. So I just think that they should keep both of those separate. At that point, Smith was the face of Disney-owned package, The First Take, in his self-titled show. According to most insiders, before the season began in October, he was on the verge of closing a landmark deal. Good thing ESPN pulled back on this, man, and that they took their time, because you got to know how to do business the right way. Wow. I know that this is a blow to Stephen A. Smith. Woo. It's obviously going to be a huge logistical nightmare, but one of the bigger questions is about Stephen A. Smith. He is close to all the inside guys. He has a banter with them, and it was usually fun and entertaining the few times TNT and ESPN did joint broadcasts with them. But depending on how much ESPN tempers with a 35-year-old formula, it doesn't feel plausible to throw in Stephen A. Smith. Headstrong personality in with existing chemistry of the inside guys. Thank you. Did I just say that? I just literally told y'all that Stephen A. Smith is too headstrong. He is the Beyonce on First Take. He has to have all the attention. And those NBA inside guys, they are true locker room guys, except Ernie Johnson. But hey, I like Ernie. Ernie knows how to be the perfect moderator. He doesn't have that ego. He has a likable personality, a likable aura. Stephen A. Smith is so fake. He is so fake to where I just feel like they'll end up bumping heads. And for that reason only, guys, is why I am seriously suggesting that ESPN, man, pay Stephen A. Smith his little contract. I don't think it's worth $100 million if you're going to come in and bring the NBA inside crew. And I damn sure don't want to see Stephen A. Smith. He would literally be the wrench thrown into the whole operation and mess everything up. If it ain't broke, don't break it or fix it, whatever they say. What are your thoughts? Let me know what you guys think about this. What is your reaction to this? Do you think that Stephen A. Smith should be with them or not? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Yeah.